Welcome back, everybody. Jimmy Dore Show. Craig Pasta Jardula here with Kurt Metzger in the house and the big guy standing on by over here. You know, just recently wasn't the only time that we found out that masks don't work in a pandemic. What about in 1918 right here? Everyone wore masks during the 1918 flu pandemic. And guess what? They were useless.
They were useless. So now I saw a headline, and I wonder if this is going to be in that story. I saw a headline the other day that said that the people who, when they died in 1918, it became because most likely from wearing masks, and they got bacterial infections. And it wasn't from the flu that killed them. It was from the bacterial infections they got. I didn't know they wore masks back in 1918, but go ahead. I'm sorry. I stopped the story.
No, I mean, you hit it on the nose, and you're right. They die from other things, and that's happening now, too, as well. Just recently, I think the pneumonia deaths went up like crazy because it was in like the breathing the schmutz within the mask. And I think it's like the longest you should be able to wear a mask is like 30 minutes, maybe an hour. So what are you going to do? Replace your mask all day long?
Nobody does that.
No. People called them flu fences and chin sails. Gala attendees fastened theirs with gaudy earrings, just like we just saw recently when everybody was just doing it all up. Smokers cut flaps in them. And movie houses gave them away with tickets. Here's your mask, sir.
I cut a glory hole in my mask.
During the influenza pandemic of 1918, officials often advised Americans to wear face masks in public. Doctors believe that masks could help prevent spray infections.
Spray infections.
That's what they're saying nowadays. That's where they're saying that the masks come in handy, is that if you do wear a mask, if you spit, it's going to be caught and it won't go out there. It's probably the one area you can say a mask is beneficial.
Yeah,
okay,
but that doesn't stop the spread of the virus at population level. So that's the hope. So maybe if you wore an N95 mask perfectly all day, you would not catch, but no one does that. And it doesn't work at population level. In 2021, in June of 2021, Joe Biden's director of COVID response, Andy Slavitt, then before Omicron, so a less contagious version of that, he said, everybody's going to get it no matter what you do. And people just don't want to hear that. Everybody's going to get COVID. And I know people say, well, I've masked and I haven't gotten it. You probably got it and you were asymptomatic. They're clinging to anti-science. And that's what that is.
That doesn't, I wear a mask, I haven't gotten it. That's like, get a lucky rabbit's foot then.
That's exactly. That's right.
That was the most common thing people said, though, when I wore a mask and I didn't get it.
And
that was so common.
I got the vax and I didn't get it. So that means the vaccine stops you from getting it. That right? I mean, that's the same logic.
Yeah. I wish I saw this article before COVID started last time. Like I was able to read this one.
1918, this article?
It's almost like that we experienced a lot of the same things.
I promise there were, in this very same paper, there was at least 4 or 5 about how great masks are, and they're definitely, of course they work.
Okay.
It's like Fauci. Like he'll tell you this story one day.
Yeah, then the next day.
Big Pharma was controlled, it was a controlled entity back then, and so was the United States government. It says, now amid the novel coronavirus pandemic, the CDC is debating whether it should recommend the people wear masks when they go outside. Why? In 1918, with a different virus, it didn't help.
Didn't help. Hey, when is this article from? Can you go back and get the date on it?
I can get the date, but I don't have it right here.
Oh, it's not in the...
I saw it.
I saw it right
2020.
here. 2020.
It says it right there.
And that's
2020.
Okay.
That's early, right?
So this is real early. This
might
right
be when, what's his name was saying, don't wear a mask.
Yeah, this is when Fauci was still saying, don't wear a mask. And that's when I got my first shot. Go ahead.
Okay, now, this is the other part I clipped out of it right now, too, as well, because just like we had the situations where we saw in Australia, where we saw the cops here arresting people, there was overreach by the government. There was overreach by the authorities. Look at this right here. This is only the beginning, said the chief of police, according to the Oakland Tribune. We're going to enforce the mask ordinance if we have to pack the city jail with people. The epidemic is too serious to be taken as a joke, and men arrested will find that it's no laughing matter when they face police judges.
Oh,
so they did the same thing over here.
1918?
1918.
Well, I guess America is great again.
Same thing, same treatment. And it was like a handbook to what to expect of what we had in coronavirus.
Well, how much money did they make on masks and vaccines?
Well, I'm pretty sure they made a ton when it came to the mask. John M. Barry, in his book, The Great Influenza, the story of the deadliest pandemic in history, the masks were worn by millions, were useless as designed, and could not prevent influenza, Barry wrote. Only preventing exposure to the virus could.
And they don't prevent exposure to the virus. The virus is smaller than those masks.
Yeah.
It can go right through the mat. That's the whole point. Okay. And then, of course, nobody gets them fitted so they can get in the sides, and they do.
Yeah.
It's just wishful. It's people. It's like going through when you have to take your shoes off to go through the TSA. It's just window dressing. It doesn't do anything. It's just there to make us feel better. That's what a mask is for an airborne virus like this.
The shoes thing
And
is
I've lost
already
so
pretty
much.
annoying.
And I've lost so much respect for people. I really have lost. I don't know if I'll ever get it back for the people who just ignore the science on this, right? These are so the people, and they're the same people who wag their finger at people about ivermectin or you're a hick because you want to take hydroxychloroquine fish cleaner. Well, they're actually the thing that they wag their finger at. The people who are the mask wearers, the mandators, they're dumber than the people they thought they were shaming about ivermectin.
It's just cows.
Yeah.
And you're like, we're all mooing. Are you going to moo too?
Yeah.
And they say that you're not following science for not wearing the mask.
There's
They
no-
always say, why don't you believe in
And
science,
also, don't
Jimmy?
look up the science.
And yeah.
Follow the science,
but
don't you
don't-
dare read it.
But don't look it up. That's right.
It's not to be read. It's to be listened to.
You know, the most interesting thing about this particular article, too, as well, it kind of pointed out that the masks were like the only area within society that they allowed poking and joking at, you know, and it's now the opposite thing. It's one of the most divisive issues. If you don't believe in masks, you're 86. You don't believe in science.
So
that was the most interesting thing I thought about that whole
Well,
particular
here's what you can
article.
believe in: the big pile of toxic masks that were discarded.
that's right.
Yes,
And
in the
are
middle of the ocean.
brutally. Well, like another big mask deployment, I think is you should worry about that more than climate change.
Come see us live on tour. We're going to be in Toledo, Detroit, St. Louis, Tampa, Boca Raton, Orlando, Dallas, Houston, San Diego, Bloomington, Illinois. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets.